Peace and blessings. This is Raisa Kiwala, the divorced Muslim coach. This is the month of the Quran, and we can all find solace in the Quran, whether it's for your specific situation or our global situation. If you are divorced or going through a divorce, or you found that your marriage has broken down, the solution of being in lockdown and divorce, being and feeling alone, is found in this verse. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest. And this is from a state of being in peace, right? So we're going to go through this next verse looking at it from this lens. And will provide for him where he does not expect. And whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him. This comes from the Quran, chapter 65, verse 3. And again, in this chapter on divorce, Allah knows exactly what he's saying, where, the thoughts. He knows us so well. He knows that the thoughts of a person going through a divorce, what is going on in their mind when they're separating, right? All of the fears that naturally pop up, which a lot of us are facing, even globally in this pandemic that we're experiencing right now. We are so limited in our human thinking capacity. So Allah is telling us, I've got you. He's asking us, do you take me as your provider, your maintainer, your sustainer? I am the owner of the unknown. Why are you walking alone into it? Hold on to me. I've got you. So, when you think about it from that perspective, yes, why am I thinking about this, that I'm on my own to deal with all of my fears and the uncertainty and the fears of the unknown? So, in this verse is really asking us to check into what is your reliance on, right? Are you relying on people? Are you relying on resources? What is it that you're relying on, and who are you relying on, right? To get in tune with your thoughts and your thinking. Uncover your own reality underneath, right? Your husband, your spouse, your marriage, all was a means to get closer to Allah. And if that is taken away, are there no other means to get to the source, right? So, we can think about this so what is my part in this, right? Do I just sit here and allow life to take charge of me, or am I going to show up and I'm going to take charge of my life, right? And how can I do that? How can I take charge of my life and make good decisions and take charge if I'm not at peace inside, right? What is your part, or your job in this is to respond in a manner that is pleasing to Allah, right? In each moment. And in divorce, we see in a lot of divorces, that's not really happening, right? If we are just reacting in autopilot, then we're just it's not giving us the opportunity to be our best self, right? If we're just reacting in autopilot, right? And this month is all about taqwa. Ramadan is about generating taqwa, raising our level of taqwa, which is God consciousness. But first, for that, we need self-awareness. We need to check into ourselves. We need to start being conscious and living consciously, and not just reacting through each moment like a firecracker and then regretting it later, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to tie our camel and, place our trust in Allah. So know your job, and your job is at each moment, are you behaving, and are your actions in a manner that is pleasing to Allah in that moment, regardless of everything else that is going on outside of you, right? So know your job and know Allah's promise. Like, what is Allah's promise, right? And He has shown us that in this verse. So this is your test to see, do you really believe Allah's promise, right? And the takeaway here really is getting in touch with yourself, your thoughts, and see, are you really feeling at peace? Building that self-awareness, living consciously to attain that level of God consciousness, which is the purpose of Ramadan. And remember, I started all of this with In remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Sometimes, even though we are remembering Allah, we still don't find that peace. And there is part of that puzzle that I haven't shared with you yet, which is how we understand our experience of this life and understanding that our feelings, our emotions could sometimes be getting in the way of that good connection with Allah. And so if you found this helpful, like, share, subscribe on my YouTube channel, Raisa Ghiwala, to get the videos as they come out in this Ramadan.